Kirito's phone started ringing and he stretched his arm towards it. Before he could answer the phone, it hung up. It was Vivian's call. He had 15 missed calls by her. He rubbed his eyes and got up from the bed. His head was hurting and he pressed his temples. I think I drank too much at the restaurant. Fuck. I forgot to go home. He turned back and looked at Erika sleeping beside him. Then he looked at his phone. It was 15 minutes past 2 in the morning. He got up and started dressing up. He fixed his hair and washed his face. He left Erika's place and ran towards his car. He started the car's engine and drove back home. When he opened the door of apartment, he noticed that it had not been locked. She hasn't locked the door yet. How irresponsible. Well, as if anyone would come here. He mumbled as he got in and locked the door. He removed his coat while moving into the hall. The lights were still up. He got inside the dining room and found Vivian sitting on the chair with her legs crossed. She was solving a puzzle with a coffee mug in her hand. He stared at her for a while. Vivian? She looked up and smiled. Oh, hear me. You're back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back home. She got up from the chair. Why aren't you asleep yet? He asked. Well, I needed to cook you something. You have worked hard whole day. So you deserve some good food. I already ate. I'm tired. I'm gonna sleep. You should sleep too. He walked towards the bedroom. I can cook you something light. Let's eat together. Good night. She turned back and stared at all the ingredients. She had prepared the chopped vegetables, various kind of oils and aromas. Well, I'll just cook this for breakfast. She kept the coffee cup into the sink and walked towards the bedroom. Kirito was fast asleep. She walked towards him and looked at him. She covered him with a blanket. Good work out there. She smiled. Then she got up and walked towards the sofa. She lay on the sofa and closed her eyes. Like always, she didn't realize when she fell asleep and when the morning hits for the first time. Wake up! Kirito shouted as he stood before her. Vivian groaned and looked up at him. The morning sunlight was blinding. Hear me? She got up. She felt dizzy and hot. You didn't cook me a breakfast. What time is it? It's 8 already. I'll just. Never mind. I'll just go work empty stomach. You can't skip breakfast. Well, thanks to some lazy thought. I'll just skip it now. I will place you a bento. Fine. I'll just eat from cafeteria. He wore his watch and looked down at her. Hey, don't you get tired of being such a disappointment every time? Vivian looked at the floor. I'll leave, he said, and she heard the door shut. I made him angry again. Now he hates me. My heart hurts. And my head as well. She heard the door being rang. Yeah, wait a minute. She ran towards the door. Avi stood at the door. Why are you here? Well, good morning, he shouted. Yeah, Mon. What do you want? She asked. Dad gives this to you. Avi gave a small box to her. What is this? she asked as she opened the box. It's our family crest. She looked at and he wants you to wear this all the time as a sign of luck and prosperity, Avi said. She took a small hairpiece from the box. It's beautiful. Say thanks to him from my side. Yeah, whatever. I'll go for now. I need to go to college. Did you have a breakfast yet? No. I will just go and have it now. I'll cook you something. Can you cook? She started laughing and turned on the stove. She poured in the oil into the pan and started cooking. Aoi sat on the chair with his face resting upon his hand over the dining table. After a while, she brought a plate of tortellini. Aoi looked at it and asked, "What is? What is was?" It's called tortellini. It's a ring-shaped pasta, Italian cuisines. Oh! Aoi picked up the fork and munched it for a while. It's good. It's actually so good. Unexpected, right? I can cook it for you whenever you want me to. Vivian smiled as she sat in front of him on the other side of the table. Aoi blushed, then looked at his food. I want a wife just like you who can cook me a good food every day. I think I know a better idea. Just wish to find someone who will love you unconditionally. Other things become secondary when we have love in our hearts. A heart that isn't love will be left alone, lonely, and sad. Aoi looked at her and she looked back into his eyes. Vivian, you should go now. You must be getting late. No, I'm not. Master Aoi! Suddenly, someone shouted from outside and walked into the apartment. Go away, Tachibana! Aoi shouted at his manager, but Tachibana picked him on his shoulder and ran outside the door. You're such a jerk! Aoi shouted. Corrections, I'm a hired jerk, Tachibana shouted back. Oh, screw you! Now's not the time to get intimate. I didn't mean that literally, okay? Vivian smiled and waved at them from balcony. Aoi turned back and waved back at her. She seemed shocked and gave out a chuckle. He looked at her and smiled. Just get inside now, Tachibana shouted as he opened the car's door. Do you have a patience? Vivian turned back and walked into the kitchen. She did the dishes and started cleaning the floor next. She was sweating a lot and felt dizzy. She stopped amidst cleaning and sat on the floor. She felt tired. Hey, don't you get tired of being such a disappointment every time? I'm so tired. I'm so desperate. I hate this me. Why I always like that, she said to herself. She got up while holding the table beside her. She walked, but suddenly everything turned dizzy, then black. She don't know what happened after that. She had a dream. Kirito was smiling. They held hands and he was happy. He was so happy with another woman while she stood afar and looked at them. Kirito, Kirito, don't leave me. I will listen to whatever you have to say. Please don't go. Please don't go. Don't go. She ran towards him and pushed the other woman away. She clenched his shoulders. Why is every woman but me okay? I love you more than anyone else, Kirito. Judge me every time, even our dreams. Judge me. Why can't I be? She began crying. He looked at her as she fell off his feet. weeping her ears out. That was dream she had in her head while Kirito sat beside her. A teardrop fell down her eyes as she slept. He stared at her and wiped her tears. She's overworked and sleep deprived. Looks like she hasn't been eating and resting properly. The doctor's word resounded into his head. He moved his finger through her hair. Why don't you understand? He mumbled to the sleeping Vivian. I don't want you to look me like that because I know I'll get soft eventually, though I can accept you because of my weakness. I don't feel like apologizing. Truth is, I hate you because you have things that I don't have. I'm sorry I don't love you. I can't. I like someone else and you are just getting between us. Now, like a bitch, you are. He got up from the chair and went towards the fridge. Vivian opened her dewy eyes. This is probably a sign that I should stop trying, but can I? She thought and clenched her eyes and beat her eyes. As Kirito opened the refrigerator door, he found it filled with various French dishes and a hanging note was present everywhere. Eat this with salt. When you are tired, this is best. In case you are too hungry, try this. This will bring up your mood. She made all this? He thought as he took the note stuck at the center. It read, I know you hate me, but love your health. The words needs your look. Or though in this world you should look better. He narrowed his eyes as he looked it and it then crushed it and threw it away. The world needs my look. Fuck yes, it does. Looks matter after all. He took a can of beer from the fridge and walked towards the bed. Vivian was still asleep on the bed. He stood in front of her. I don't need your food. I would rather keep myself a cook if I were a fan of food. He coldly glared at her. Still, and now listen. Stop reaching out for me. Our paths are different. He took another sip of beer. Nothing good has ever come because of you. Your mere existence is a nuisance for me. His face turned red from the alcohol. He got up and threw the can on the floor. You know what? Fuck everything. Why do you like me? If you are so desperate, then any man should do, right? Why do people always choose me? He shouted. She was still pretending to be sleeping, but she was listening. He grabbed her hand that almost took her breath away. Ugly hands, he dropped them, and she held his hand. He looked at her. She was looking at him. I'm not desperate for a man. I'm desperate for you. Any man won't do. She got up and looked into his eyes. I want you. Even though it's impossible, but just saying it feels good. Then that must be good enough for you, he smirked. It is just having you beside me with your hands in mine. I have my entire world into my hands and I want to feel that feelings. He pulled his hand away from her. You're some you nah you say some epic bullshit sometimes. It isn't bullshit. I don't like it. So shut up. I decide what I want to talk about. Or if it is all I want to talk. Also I don't want you. He got up and slammed the bedroom door. She fell on the bed again and closed her eyes. Well, if not him, at least I have his scent. She muffled her face into the pillow. Her eyes seemed dead. She wanted to be happy, but that seemed so difficult. Slowly, dawn took over. Vivian slowly opened her eyes and looked aside. Kirito was sleeping on a chair, with his head pressed on the bed. The dim morning light penetrated through the window. Hear me? She got up. She looked at the beer cans lying on the floor. So, you have started drinking? Welcome to the German club. She jumped out of the bed and changed. Kirito woke up by the smell of food. Oh, Moana, hear me. I cooked you something good. Why don't you freshen up and have something? She offered as Kirito stood at the kitchen partition. He nodded his head and grabbed his towel. And he walked through that kitchen partition. No room had any door in the apartment. It's one walked inside from the main door. They would enter the living room, which had a huge double sofa set on which Vivian slept. A little away on the left was a modular kitchen, on the right was bedroom, and the right in front of was changing room, which further opened into the bathroom. Kirito pressed his temples while Vivian gave him a banana and some nuts. It will help you get rid of your hangover. Is this a joke? He looked at the banana. It isn't that small compare. Don't compare it to yours. I I didn't mean that. Shit. Vivian laughed. You aren't a regular drinker, are you? I don't drink, he replied coldly. Then why did you drink yesterday? I drank when I'm sad. It's just painful to be with you when I don't want to. He walked to the bedroom and through there to the bathroom. Vivian stood there as if she was frozen under some spell. You hate me just like my heart. Because I can't hate you, Kirito. I love you so much. Kirito got out from the bathroom while buttoning his shirt. Vivian stood near the dining table. He ignored her and went to the bedroom. He dressed his hair, wore his suit, picked off his coat and phone, and texted while walking. I'm leaving. He turned towards the door when he felt a tug on his shirt. Vivian held his shirt and stood behind him. What? He asked. She stood at her toes and pulled his head down as the light summer wind struck his forehead. So did Vivian warm lips that seems to melt that headache? She moved away and smiled. He brushed his forehead with his hand. You disgust me, he said and left the apartment. Vivian smiled and got back to the work. Maybe he doesn't mean all that from his heart. Deep down, he's a really nice person. Plus, he's hurting over something in the past, I think. I should be kind. But what should I do to make him love me? Suddenly, an amazing idea hit her head. Looks matter, don't they? She just needed to change the way she looked. She stood in the front of mirror and looked at her hair. Would he like them shorter? She thought as she looked at her braided knee and knee length light pink blonde hair. With hesitation, she picked up the scissors and one of her braids. She felt like what she was doing was the right things, but at the same time, it all felt so wrong. Time seems so heavy. Can't I just travel back in time and reset everything? The moment when you asked if I wanted to marry you, I would say no, and then I wouldn't make you suffer like this. I wouldn't have to make you apologize to petty women like me. She looked at her hair one last time. They flow down like a pink spring of water lilies. Why do I have to sacrifice my part of me to make myself worthy of what I have earned? She took a deep breath to let it go all the thoughts. She brought the scissors blade between the thick strands of her hair. It might not change anything, but I won't regret trying. And off went the blade with the most deadliest sound.